Right, I believe we should be live, so if we are, then hello everyone and welcome back to the AOR F1 2013 League for another race, and this time at the amazing circuit itself, the Belgian Grand Prix, the Spa Francorchamps circuit, and you can see the qualifying has already started. We're a minute and a half in, tiny bit late again, but hopefully that's not a problem. I'm without X-G this time. Unfortunately, he has got a bit of a fiery throat, a bit of an issue with his throat, so he is kind of incapable of doing a commentary at this moment in time, from what I've understood. So instead, I have got a new guy with me in the commentary box. Someone who's not too familiar with league racing, but who also, like us, is a very big fan of racing itself, and he knows what racing is, and that is you, Niran.
Yes, hello. I'm here for my league racing debut, as it turns out, for commentating. Try to go slightly easy on me, at least, because obviously it is my first time, but I do realise that Matt's shoes are fairly hefty ones to step into. But as Fisi said, we are here at Spa in Belgium. For it's round number 10, is it not?
10?
Yes,
yeah, we're actually just starting the second half of this championship right now. Yes. 9 out of 18 races have been done, and Belgian Grand Prix is kicking off the second half. And unfortunately, usually at this point, I kind of go through the events that happened in the previous race, but I've kind of forgotten to prepare the graphics for that. So that's a bit unfortunate. Yeah, well, what happened? God, I'm trying to just think now. Obviously, there was the Hungary race last time out. Cyril Martin ended up winning that race quite comfortably in the end. Well, actually, only by 3 and a bit seconds from Brocek. But obviously, the big story from the Hungary race was Cyril Limitless's disconnection before the race, Martin obviously taking that win to put him quite a bit further ahead in the championship standings. I believe it's 35 points now between Martin and Limitless at the top of the championship. So, Brocek was second in that race, and also I'm trying to think now. Actually, there was Yi finished third in that one, and he received a 10-second penalty for the incident on just before the finish line with Orbit Pride, where it looked like anyway that he turned across into Orbit Pride just before the line, kind of blocking him. He received a penalty from the steward for that after that was reported, and as a result of several incidents so far this season, he has actually been given a race ban as kind of accumulating too many penalty points, and that is the end result of that. So Yi, the only driver missing here from the Belgian Grand Prix here today. And we have got 2 new drivers as well. Sorry for going on a bit, Niran.
But fine. You keep going.
Yeah, one of them I'm watching right now, K-Block78, a completely new driver to AOR, but he did apparently do this pretty well in the social race that was held on Thursday to, impressed enough that he was allowed to join the league as 1 or 2 drivers, with obviously there was 2 slots open that needed to be filled, and he has just put in his first lap of the AOR League with a 1:45.8 around the Belgian Grand Prix circuit to, he did go P5 for a bit, now he's been dropped down to P6.
Down slightly.
So I'm actually, you are in the timing area, in the pit lane, Niran. I don't know if you're seeing anything special down there.
I am the pit guy, I think it would have to be said. It's actually Leobot who's fastest at the moment.
Wow,
Purple last sector, though, by the man you were just talking about, who's making his debut today, K-Block78. And that has just put him, where is he? Oh, he hasn't finished the lap yet, never mind. But yeah, there's some, it's very close, actually, has to be said, at the top of the timing sheets at the moment. 3 people covered by only 900ths of a second, and that is Leobot, TR Limitless, and Lockdown currently, after 2 laps apiece for those guys.
We have had very close qualifyings in recent races as well, and this is a track that is pretty long, to be honest. 1:45 are the laps at the moment, and still they managed to be incredibly close up there at the top. So I'm going to go back out on track and see if any of the big guys are on a lap. Leobot looks like he's cruising back to the pits. I'm not going to stay on board with him. To be honest, I would imagine at this point of the qualifying session that most people will kind of be on their in-lap after their first run.
Yeah, only 9.5 minutes of the session left, so people will probably be coming back in to the pit lane for now. But yeah,
just confirmation from that right now with Limitless streaming off into the pits. So, let's see here. And unfortunately, it does look like the stream is lagging for a few people. We'll see. if that works. So I hope that now it'll be a bit better for people, since I've reduced the bitrate setting slightly, but it was already far down and at the same bitrate levels that I've always used to stream so far this season, so I'm not really sure why it's having problems at the moment.
People watching this connection, sometimes it tends to be that way instead of the person actually doing the stream.
Yeah, but it seems to be a lot of...
Oh, okay, a lot of people. Okay, that's fair enough.
Instead of usually it's like a few always, but yeah. Anyway, few comments anyway coming in now that is a bit better. And while you have been away, and annoyingly,
very annoyingly, it has to be said.
the other new guy that I did not introduce before, is just been moved down to second, but he was.
He was very long. Orbit Pride.
Fox. I'm not actually. I haven't practiced saying his name. Fox-eyed.
Fox-eyed. I think we should go for Fox-eyed, to be honest.
Fox-eyed. Let's say that. He's German anyway. He's a new guy in the league. He's joined the Sauber team alongside Orbit Pride, replacing TSR Hunter Stale, who obviously has been running around at the back of the grid for quite a few races in the past. He decided to call it a day. But it's a Sauber 1-2 at the moment with Orbit Pride also moving the new guy Fox-eyed. That's going to struggle with that name.
We can get through this, don't worry.
Yeah, and Orbit Pride, the first man into the 44.9. So now, if the stream is fine, I'm going to try to go back on track as we see Orbit Pride now on an in-lap annoyingly. So we basically missed two guys setting a very impressive time.
Well, a lot of people going back onto the track now. Leobot, TRL Limitless and such like should be back on track, I think.
Yeah, well, Leobot is on a timed lap, so this is the annoying part, because like I'm trying to find a car to follow, and I have no idea whether they're an in-lap or an out-lap.
He has just done a 30.491 through the first sector, which is not bad. It's not bad. It's about 200ths quicker than Orbit Pride just did.
To be fair, it looks like Leobot is pushing pretty hard, so I think I'll stay on board with Leobot, who obviously was provisional pole for the start of the session. Now he's in P3, been moved down by Fox-eyed. For God's sake. Fox-eyed, and but now Leobot has gone very wide through Poo on there, and I think that is gonna
be the end of that lap.
Yeah, I think so. It didn't seem to slow him down too much, but I think yeah, I don't think that'll be a better lap if he does that, to be honest. I'm gonna just stay on board with him and just go back in chat and see if it is better. And there were a few positive comments, but now doesn't seem to be doing good again.
Just quickly, Limitless has did just go second, but TRL Martin has literally just taken second off him to go within 200ths of Orbit Pride. Then it's about 800ths back to Limitless, and then Fox-eyed in fourth now. So he's really dropped down, having been first earlier on.
Yeah, Martin does his usual retire from the race once it's done a lap that he's very happy with. It's not a provisional pole time, as you said, but very close, and on the front row at the moment as Martin. And crucially, just ahead of his championship rival, TRL Limitless, who we just have to keep our fingers crossed that will not disconnect this time around, as they did last time.
It has to be said.
Yeah, we really do want to see a championship fight between those guys, to be honest. Would be good. Someone in chat asking who is co-commentating, so I assume that's someone who joined, a bit after we did our intro, and so I'll say it again. That is Niran, aka FlyingNirangatang, on YouTube and Twitter or whatever, everything basically.
And on Xbox Live as well. So there you go. But yes, awesome to be a part of this for the first time and be commentating. And as we're giving another intro, NLR Evo has just gone fastest by 0.2 of a second.
I've been very bad at finding the laps.
I know I should be helping you more. I apologise when people are on laps, but yeah, Evo going fastest there.
Yeah. So I have not really been watching Limitless laps, so I probably, if I had, I would know if this was a lap that has been pushing on or if it's an in lap. But we will get confirmation in just a second. And annoyingly, as always, it's an in lap. So we'll try to find someone else to spectate right now. See if someone seems to be pushing NLR Evo after going provisional pole. He's going very slowly right now, so clearly on an in-lap. And he will not have time to make another lap, I don't think.
We're probably very happy with that lap. It's a really good one, 144.7. Yeah. So 2.5 minutes of the session to go. Martin and Limitless both in the pit lane.
And I have to say as well, NLR Evo, who was incredibly fast at Monaco. Earlier in the season, he won that race at Monaco. obviously one of the quite few wheel drivers we got in this league. Monaco known to be a kind of a wheel specialist track, but after Monaco, he's not actually been very high up in the standings. I'm just trying to find right now.
He only loves the classics, clearly. Monaco and Spa.
Yeah. Monaco and Spa, two of the best tracks you have to say, to be honest.
See, if he grabs pole in Italy.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that one. But yeah, he's been 13th, 8th, and 9th in the races after Monaco, after winning Monaco. So that's quite weird, really. But at least now he seems to be back in form with the provisional pole. Yeah, exactly. So let's see.
As always, reporting after the thing has happened, Brosiek has just gone second fastest. Sorry.
I think that's fine. I think I'll stay on board with Orbit Pride because at least now we have someone who is definitely starting a flying lap. No idea whether it'll be a lap he'll be improving on, but he's in P3 at the moment, so clearly a fast guy. Orbit Pride on this track as well. So going up through a Rouge right about now. And he completely missed the apex, to be honest, there. So
not the best way through a Rouge, it has to be said.
Yeah. Kind of want to be taking the shortest line through that. At least he's opening DRS, and he should be coming through the first sector split right by now. So I guess you can let me know whether it was a good one.
It was a 30.3, I do believe, which is actually pretty decent. That's matching Brosiek.
All right.
Despite going slightly wide.
Yeah. So So obviously Orbit Pride now down to P4 with as Brosiek moved himself up, and he's always been a little bit off the track through the corner with no name there. Now coming down through Pujon. Again, missing the apex a bit, and just like Liebert, not as far off the track as Liebert was, but he definitely lose a bit of time when you miss the apex there and you go on that massive curve on the outside of Pujon. But at least now he's starting to hit some apexes, and that section looked quite a lot better, and he should be coming around the second split right about now, Niran.
Right. Let us
Orbit Pride.
It's a 44.8. That's the fastest middle sector.
Ooh.
A purple middle sector from Orbit Pride. He's just been displaced, I think, by Foxside, who's just gone up into third place as well. A few moments ago. Only 4 thousandths behind Brosiek, too. And as the session comes to a close for myself...
Yeah, and he's going through the bust up chicane right now. Is Orbit Pride, is it going to improve on his P4 time? It is the pole lap. Finally, we managed to spectate the pole lap. Incredible scenes.
I'm so proud of us, Fisi. We finally got that.
We did it.
Time by 2/10 in front of NLR.
Although, I just saw Foxside's time. I was gonna get a little bit excited that his teammate Foxside was on the lap as well, but he was way off what he needed to do to improve there. So let's see. Limitless is on the lap actually, halfway through it.
Sixth, just behind his championship rival TRL Martin.
So the two championship contenders are 5th and 6th at the moment, with qualifying about to end. I don't know. There's one guy that's about to come to the line. Don't know if actually no, Martin retired, didn't he? So he's not going to improve. Limitless, the only driver I think at the moment still to finish this session.
I think Martin killed himself after retiring so early. At the time, he only had 200ths to gain to take pole. He's now 4 tenths off, and hence down in 5th place.
Pretty insane, actually. I mean, it is a long lap, but still, that's a much bigger gap than he clearly would have wanted. So, hard to really say whether this looks like a good lap for Limitless so far, but he's clearly pushing still. Come towards the end of it now. Only the bus stop chicane to go. As he hits that apex pretty nicely. Just get it turned over as short as possible. Run through the second apex, and here we go. He did not improve on his position. P6.
I don't think he improved on his time either.
No. Okay then. So that's a very interesting grid. Orbit Pride on pole again, just like it was in Nürburgring. And Lariva, the Monaco winner, on the front row with him. Brosiek in third there, ahead of the new guy Foxside in the Sauber. And then TRL Martin and Limitless, the championship rivals, in 5th and 6th. And then you can see the rest there. I don't have time to go through all of them. The new guy K Block 78, just an honourable mention for him. Qualifying P10 on his debut. So, Niran, that was very interesting.
What a hectic qualifying session, and really a turn up for the books to see the two championship rivals down in 5th and 6th. And Foxside, the new driver, up in 4th place. Really good qualifying session from himself, just behind Brosiek. But the time's tumbling all the way through the session, and we've ended up with a very, very, well, not very, very, but fairly mixed up grid, it has to be said.
Yeah, and just like Tirana Tiger pointing out, old AOR F1 driver pointing out in the chat, Martin retiring early was a mistake. At least it does seem like it in hindsight. But certainly it'll make for a very interesting race with the two championship rivals down on the third row together.
Trying to fight their way through the order and past the top 4 going into the race. That should be very interesting. What a really intriguing first 3 laps we're probably in store for. Certainly anyway, whilst those guys try and fight their way through. Probably even longer than 3 laps.
And we have had some incredible Belgian Grand Prix in this league in the past, and judging from the grid, this could well be another one here. I'm just thinking back to season 8. Was it when Ricky C became a surprise winner around here? Oh, wow. The top 3 in that occasion separated by 3 seconds, with some very close battles further down the field as well. And we cannot forget the race in season 7, won by TRL Limitless. That was TRL Limitless's first ever race in this league, Belgian Grand Prix, 3 seasons ago, when he defeated Noble after catching him. I think they were in alternate strategies, and Limitless on better tires were just charging him down towards the end of the race, passed him on the better tires, and managed to win that race. Tyrrell Martin actually, as well, following him on that similar strategy, got second on that occasion. So, yeah, the guys who are fighting for the championship now, very close in the race back in season 7 as well. Maybe that is a sign of things to come.
Well, I'm fairly sure they'll be pretty close in this race as well, given where they're starting and obviously their similar pace. But, yeah, with all things considered and previous results in this, we're looking forward to a very, very close battle between the 2 of them. What strategy are we looking at, for this race? You talked about split strategies a moment ago. What strategy will the majority of the field be going for in this one?
It's hard to say, because, as I said, alternate strategies back in Season 7, I seem to remember that Noble might have tried a one-stopper on that occasion. Really just trying to stretch his tyre out, but it kind of backfired, and Limitless managed to get him on the two-stopper. That's what I seem to remember. I'm not 100% that, but that's what I think happened. So we could see some split strategy, actually. We don't usually see it, but the game says it's a default two-stop strategy, and that's probably, I'd say, what most people would go for. But it'll be interesting to see if someone gambles and tries something else.
Yeah, very interesting. No chance of rain, of course, in this.
Ah, yeah, good point as well. It'll be a dry one here at Spa, which isn't always the case.
Yeah, very well. Hardly ever the case, in fact.
Yeah, exactly. So then, we can see the grid on the screen here, and we're going into the race very quickly. We usually have a bigger wait between the qualifying and the race. I guess Limitless just very eager to get it underway. Luckily, at least now, he's gotten further into the session than he got last time out when he disconnected
Wow,
before.
This is very true. Small gains, marginal gains, that's what matters. Hopefully we'll see him get towards the end of the race as well.
That is what we will be hoping for. So, hopefully the stream is working now, and I'll be X-Mighty when I say it's race time. It's the Belgian Grand Prix, and it is Fisi and the FlyingNirangatang commentating for you here today. So for the Belgian Grand Prix, Season 10 AOR F1 2013 League. So basically, Niran will go straight up into the commentary box once these guys drive off the grid, as the lights are coming out on now for the Belgian Grand Prix, and they are out, and the drivers are underway down into the first corner. A short run, of course, on this circuit. I'll try to get out there and see from Obi's Pride's perspective. Looking back, it's a Williams. At NLR Evo, he's had a nightmare first corner, and he's taken out a Marussia as well. I think that might have been Limitless getting caught up by the Williams spinning on the outside curb at turn 1, and the top 2 have already got a gap because of that incident. Brojek now streaming past Orbit Pride after a Rouge. That's an incredible start of this race. Or is that Brojek, or is that the new guy Foxside? I'm not actually completely sure. I can't recognize their helmet. There was someone with the yellow helmet anyway. And there's a Caterham going wide back there, possibly TRL Martin, the championship leader. It's very hard to say. I'm going to just jump backwards to see who that's that guy that's locked down in P3 all of a sudden, under pressure from his teammate Leobot, who takes that position now into this corner here. And man, this is incredible since the first lap. And a Red Bull and a Mercedes battling back through the corner with no name as well.
Brojek, by the way, in the lead of the race.
Amazing. Good spot. And so that's Foxside then, a new guy who's dropped down from 4th to 6th so far. And man, what an incredible first half of the race we have got here. Both Martin and Limitless way down the field, even more way down than where they started.
I have to say, I think TRL Limitless someone definitely picked up some sort of front wing damage. It looked like only an M fence, but there was definitely a piece of front wing that flew off when NLR Evo made contact at the edge or at the end, sorry, of the hairpin. Leobot, though, in third place at the moment, in front of his Toro Rosso teammate. But wow, what a first lap, and Brosiek it is who leads the race.
Yeah, I've actually confused the cars a bit because I just thought Foxside was in the Mercedes there for a reason. It's actually the other new guy, K-Block in 78, who's now gone off at the bus stop, but moved himself. He has, and well, I probably got a warning from the game, although knowing Codemasters he actually didn't. But he has had to give up one position after cutting the corner, which is fair enough. And is that Tyrrell Martin then? Try to find that out. Actually, I'm going to stay on board with K-Block because he's got a much better run out of turn 1. And they're going to be side by side into a Rouge here, the Caterham. And that is Tyrrell Martin, I'm pretty sure. Great, leaving each other room. And they're going to be side by side down the Camel Straight as well. K-Block 78. Oh, there's a Marusha coming out of nowhere to join in the battle. Oh my word. And is that Foxside as well, the other new guy. And K-Block has just lost 3 positions in this lap so far. And he's gone from bad to worse after he went off at the bus stop. And Niran, what on earth is even going on there?
This is absolutely astonishing. I'm actually watching a battle just in front of them. 3rd, 4th and 5th. Cryo Lockdown has actually just lost his 4th place. They were going alongside each other through Eau Rouge as well. And looking back, and there's absolute carnage going on between the Marusha and
side by side.
This is fantastic. What a first few laps. This is absolutely amazing.
Oh my god, I wish we could, I wish we weren't stuck with this stupid spectator mode. We could actually watch all the drivers at the same time, but yeah, it's just constant battling. I'm going to try to move my way a bit further down up the order again.
TSR Unleashed is actually just in front of Cryo Lockdown now. He's taken 4th. And in front of them, is it Leobot who's actually starting to stretch away? Yeah, he is. But you'll notice the top 2 have spread away or stretched away by an absolute mile. Orbit Pride and Brosiek are probably a good 3 seconds in front of the rest of the field after all the shenanigans going on in the first 2 laps.
And possibly even the most... Oh my word, as Tyrrell Martin's been kind of dive-bombed a little bit up the inside of the bus stop there by a Sauber, potentially Foxside.
Yeah, I'd say that's Foxside. Limitless is trying to stretch away.
Pride is much higher up, isn't he? Yeah. So, yeah, so Limitless is in P6, Tyrrell Martin in P7, the championship contenders way down here and very close together, so this will be a very interesting battle, and I'm not sure if Limitless is going to be close enough to the guy in 5th place to have DRS on the Camel Straight now.
He's probably not going to be able to. He's got an okay run out of Eau Rouge, but he's probably going to have to look out more behind him from the Caterham of TRL Martin even.
Exactly, so Martin gaining with DRS, but not close enough. He just had too much of a gap between them before the straight to get close enough, but he's definitely closed the gap again. So this is kind of where I'm in a dilemma as the camera deciding
camera positioning, yes.
Yeah, because do we want to stay on board with the battle between the championship contenders, or do we want to go to the battle for the lead and see what's going on there?
I'll have a little look at the battle for the lead, and you stay with Limitless and Martin battling for 6th.
Good plan. So we got the championship lead battle down here in the midfield, and we got the race lead battle up here in front.
Tell you something, the lead has actually changed hands. Brosiek was leading in the Mercedes, but it is now Orbit Pride in that Sauber who's taken the lead back. They're going down towards Blanchimont. Brosiek's trying to go round the outside through Blanchimont and down towards the bus stop chicane. He's gone wide and gone off the track onto the AstroTurf, but he's kept the position. Now, I don't know whether he's going to have to give that position back because he certainly went off the track on my screen, but he has taken the lead back from Orbit Pride. He'll get DRS, I think it is... Yeah, he will get DRS down the home straight.
He will indeed.
As CSR Unleashed pits, I think, in the background as well on the 4th lap here. Starting lap 4. That's a very early pit stop, isn't it?
It is, I would say. It is definitely not the one stop for him then. He's not going to go the last 18 laps on one.
18 laps. The use of Kurz as well here from Orbit Pride as they go through Eau Rouge and up the hill. And he is, I mean, this is a guaranteed pass. This is an absolutely guaranteed pass. He's going to have the DRS open. He's alongside already before they even got to the DRS zone. And he'll try and go around the outside here down towards the chicane at the end of the Camel Straight, which I can't remember. A tiny bit of contact, I think, there between Pride and Brosiek, but he does just about hold on to the position. And in the Sauber, he is doing a very, very good job here down towards this hairpin, keeping Brosiek behind after taking the position back.
Yeah, very impressive racing. Obviously, a bit of contact. I think Brosiek was a little bit optimistic maybe to try and hang it up the inside there at Lecombe. But yeah, Orbit Pride just about left him room, and now he's gotten onto that outside curb again. I can't remember if it was this game where that outside curb at Puhon just really wants to bottom out your car and kind of throw it off the track.
I think it was either this or F1 2014. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, either one of the games anyway. So it's a bit dangerous from experience. As Orbit Pride has lost a lot of time coming onto the back straight now, and this could be an easy pass for Brochek again, who has saved pretty much all of his curves and is past him already for the lead of the race again. And I have a feeling, unless any of these guys make a mistake, that they are going to be stuck together for quite a while, as now in the slipstream actually, now that Brochek used up his curves, Orbit Pride is actually gaining on him a little bit. Not close enough to get back at him. Oh, and he goes into the pit lane. He does Orbit Pride.
He's followed in as well by Leobot, who locked up both his front tyres going through the bus stop. I think he's starting to catch those two. I think that's benefiting him slightly that the top two are battling so much, because Brochek seems to love that Blanchimont move.
Yeah, and let's see if Orbit Pride has a reasonable pit stop. Doesn't seem like he got held up at all. We can see Leobot there also in his box, and there's a couple of more cars in, I think.
There's Marussia in as well, wasn't there? Unleashed. TSR Unleashed has actually got the undercut, and I think he's going to beat Leobot out of the pit lane here. And he does.
Interesting,
He takes 10th place out on track, but that will, I think, become a net third when everyone's made their pit stops. So TSR Unleashed, who made a very, very early pit stop, stuck on a set of primes for what I can only assume will be a middle stint.
Look here, though!
What's going on? What's going on?
It's the three-way battle ahead of Jason on the Camel Straight, and that is TRL Martin who's run wide at Lecom. I couldn't see if there was any... No, there wasn't TRL Martin, it was Lest F1. Maybe Martin's gone into the pits then, because there was the other Caterham of Lest F1 this time who was in that battle. And he's just gotten back ahead of Jason after losing out him for a brief moment. So, is that then K-Block in the Mercedes down in 6th place at the moment? Obviously, we won't really know what position all these guys are really in until after have done their first pit stop. But he's right on the back of a Red Bull, so that would be... Is that Rio Haryanto?
It is Rio Haryanto, yeah. I'm watching him at the moment, looking back, and he has got a... Well, he's got a plethora of cars behind him. To be honest, I'm not even sure I know what that word means, but he's got a lot of cars behind him, including Mercedes, Caterham, and a Marussia. And the Caterham and Mercedes are getting very, very close. A little bit too close there. The Mercedes swerving over a little bit.
I'm looking on a battle for P2 at the moment, which had TRL Martin, the championship leader, passing Lockdown, who now goes into the pit lane. Martin, though, carries onto lap 6 without pitting.
My word, K-Block 78, they're getting very close to Rio Haryanto going through the bus stop chicane. And it's helped one of the Saubers. Who is that? One of the Saubers has just made a move on a Marussia, I think, and now I'm getting caught by Lockdown in the pit lane. That's not what I want. K-Block there. Oh, he's got 3 cars behind him. He's got a Caterham and a Sauber and a Mana.
Is that? Oh god, here comes Brochek out of the pits actually, the guy who was leading the race.
Literally right into the middle of that battle, out in 5th
That would be Orbit Pride then, surely. Orbit Pride, who was kind of caught up to the battle with the guys who haven't pitted yet. You can see Brochek in 5th right now. 2 of the guys who haven't pitted are ahead of him.
And a great battle.
I think that's Lest F1 and Brochek's new teammate, K-Block 78, and they're holding each other up.
In the back of the Caterham, and it's allowed Orbit Pride up the inside. And there's been a contact there with the Mana Marussia as well behind on the back.
Is that Limitless?
Of Brochek.
It's not Limitless, it's Jason.
It can't be Limitless. It's Jason, it's Jason. Orbit Pride, they're going past the Caterham as well. Some fantastic racing. The strategy's crossing over because a few of these guys haven't pitted. And the guys behind them on fresher tyres are just coming up and swamping them from behind. We've got Leo.
It's also confusing. So, who is the guy in the lead of the race at the moment? That would have been Martin, wouldn't it? Because he didn't pit. Has Limitless pitted?
No, I think Limitless... Oh my god, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think Limitless has pitted. Very, very confusing though, this. And Orbit Pride, I think, has managed to get himself to the front of the gaggle a lot easier than Brochek has. Jason makes a mistake. That's allowed Leobot and CSR Unleashed up the inside. So he's dropped down to 9th.
Now, TRL Martin's teammate Lest F1 is... it looked like he was gaining on Brochek and about to make a pass, but instead he gets passed by K-Block. So Lest F1 just lost a lot of speed there on the straight. So will these 2 guys now go into the pit lane, I wonder?
No! Caterham speeds as K-Block comes into the pit lane. Wrong place, wrong time. He's just on the outside.
It looked like
the route into the pit lane for K-Block.
Okay, so Lest F1, he's on the prime tires, isn't he? So he started on the the more durable prime tires. That's why he did not go into the pits, as Foxside has just come out of the pits just behind him in P9 at the moment. So now I do believe that unless the guy started on prime tires like Lest F1 did, obviously because he qualified outside the top 10, then I think everyone has probably pitted at this point. Actually, no, there's a guy way out in front.
Leading because he started on the primes as well.
Did he?
On the orange wall prime tires. I literally didn't realise until right now.
Now it makes a lot of sense why he retired.
He's going for a very much extended first stint of this race.
So Martin then must have qualified on the prime tires.
Wow.
That explains why it was 4/10 of pole and happy with it.
Well, I tell you, that's weird actually, because I'm fairly sure Limitless started on the options, didn't he? Did he?
He must have done, because he's pitted.
Yeah, he has pitted already. So Limitless did the same time as Martin, whereas Martin was on the prime tyres.
That's very weird.
Very interesting strategy from Martin to try and pull that off. I'm guessing he's just going to try and get some clean laps together whilst he's in a lot of space, because he has got a lot of space around him. Unlike, however, Orbit Pride, who's got Brosiek going right around his outside through Blanchimont again. Brosiek loves this manoeuvre around the outside.
Oh my word.
He's going to pull it off again. There was a tiny bit of contact, I think, going through the corner. But down into the bus stop, it means Brosiek has the inside line, and he gets the job done and up into second place, which will, I think, become a net first there as CSR Unleashed goes across the bus stop behind these two guys and makes a bit of a hash of things, and has hence lost the position to Leobot again. Those guys have been battling since day one, since the start of this race, and Orbit Pride and Brosiek is still battling a lot as well.
Yep. And, well, it's I do apologize for missing the thing with Martin on the prime tires. It's just so much going on.
So much
and once again, we will have a pass for the lead, as you tend to get around here when there's two guys in the group just DRSing and drafting past each other on the Camel Straight. And Orbit Pride, an easy move back into the leader race now past Brosiek again. And these two can't be separated at the moment, although there's not too big of a gap back to P3. You can see him down there. He's outside the DRS range. Looks like a Toro Rosso. Is that Leobot potentially?
Yeah.
Or is...
Now, if him and Unleashed can actually work together, they might be able to catch these two and make a gaggle of 4 here.
And I think that's Limitless as well.
I reckon that is as well. Certainly not Jason. I think Jason pitted
to the back of there. He did. So, and Martin must have pitted now as well, because the Brosiek Orbit Pride battle is now again the battle for the actual lead of the race instead of just the net lead of the race.
Okay.
So if you can go and try and figure out where Martin's ended up in the queue.
He's sped out, and in that one, I'm going to assume it's somewhere like 6th, maybe 7th.
Because, yeah, so there's obviously the top 2 right now, and then there's a 2 or 3 second gap down to Leobot, who we're watching right now, and he's got TSR Unleashed and Limitless for company, not far behind, and then there's another kind of a couple of second gap down to 6th place.
Yeah, and in that 6th place is actually TRL Martin.
Wow,
so
okay,
this is
very interesting.
He's stuck on another set of primes, though, would you believe? So, that's very, very interesting. Two prime stints.
I guess that's kind of, yeah, that makes sense in a way, because you don't have to worry too much about tyre wear if you do 2 stints of the primes as opposed to trying to do 2 stints on the options. But you can see here that Orbit Pride has gone back down to 2nd place. I think Brosiek passing back on the back straight as he'd done earlier in the race as well. And is Orbit Pride slightly further back onto the Camel Straight this time around? Brosiek kind of placing his car kind of smartly, you have to say, right in the middle of the track, making it a bit hard for Orbit Pride to kind of decide what way to go there. And in the end, he's stayed behind. Doesn't look like the gap has really gotten any closer down to 3rd place, even though these guys have been battling. But they tend to pass each other on the straight without losing each other too much time.
Yeah, they're not squabbling and losing too much time through the slow corners, are they? They're sort of breezing past each other at points where there's DRS. As both Brosiek and Orbit Pride going a little bit wide there through P1. But they are stretching away, as we said, from 3rd, 4th and 5th, and Limitless is certainly catching Leobot and CSR Unleashed now. He is literally right on the back of those guys. And I think he's dragging Martin with him as well in the Caterham.
Martin, I think, now has gotten himself into the DRS range of TRL Limitless, and even though these guys are now on the same tyre compound, you have to remember that Martin stayed out for several laps longer, 2 or 3 laps at least, stretching out his first prime stint, so maybe
fresher tyres, and my word, Orbit Price trying to go right around the outside down towards the bus stop chicane. If he can pull this off, this would be one hell of a move, and he makes it the inside through the second part of the chicane. They're alongside each other now, coming out of the chicane, and he will get DRS because he was just behind, although it looks as if Brosiek has got DRS as well down towards the first corner, and Brosiek does just about hold on. Getting the switchback, though, is Orbit Pride, and these guys are going to be battling all the way through Eau Rouge and I think down the Kemmel Straight as well. Using the curves here as Orbit Pride, and he's going to try and go up the inside.
Oh no!
Down through Eau Rouge and up the hill. Surely not. Surely
oh
not.
My God! Incredible racing.
Two of them. Wow, my word. Well, Brosiek stretches away on exit, but Orbit Pride then gets the DRS, ducks into the slipstream of the Mercedes driver. I think he's going to try and get up the inside. No, he ducks out of the move in the end and holds on to that second place. This is a fantastic battle between these two guys.
It's incredible, and we were speaking about not holding each other up. I think they might have held each other up a little bit by going side by side down through the bus stop and on the start-finish straight. But certainly incredible racing side by side through a Rouge as well, and without any contact. Incredible stuff.
There's a lot of side by side action even going on. Behind as well as Martin, Limitless.
Oh
Limitless has gone wide through Paul. I'm actually watching from behind Leobot. I don't know why I'm not switching to the three actual battling, but Limitless and Martin, I think, have both gone past Unleashed there. So they're now fourth and fifth, respectively. I got very, very close, though, through No Name, and I think Limitless getting wide through Puon because Martin threatened to stick his Caterham nose up the inside of Russia. But yeah, fantastic racing all the way through the top six at the moment.
It's too much. I really wish we could have like a split screen camera and just focus on everything at the same time, as Martin's actually put himself under pressure by having a bit of a poor end to that second sector with Unleashed very close behind. But I don't think Unleashed is going to try anything stupid, to be honest. He knows Martin is fast. There's no point in really trying to battle him too hard. Rather, if I was in Unleashed shoes right now, try and use Martin as kind of his way back up to the battle ahead. Just stay with him, use the DRS to his advantage, and try to get himself back into the mix as Martin, though, even though he had a bit of a poor end to that lap, at least he should still be within the DRS range of Limitless. And these guys are well and truly getting close to joining the battle for the lead. Leobot in third, still outside DRS range from the top two. But Limitless possibly getting quite close to Leobot here, who obviously Leobot doesn't have a DRS down the Kemmel Straight. But Limitless isn't really closing too quick.
Ooh, tiny touch, I think, there. But it's interesting, actually, as well. It seems as if Brosiek is starting to break away at the front ever so slightly. For the first time in quite a few laps here, as we actually reached the halfway stage pretty much of the race. We're on lap 11 here of 22. But for the first time in a while, no move actually made down the Kemmel Straight.
Yeah.
Which says a lot.
What a shit lap.
What a terrible race we're watching. No. Which actually says a lot there, as Leobot goes extremely wide through Puon, but Limitless is not close enough to take any advantage from it. And I know you were talking about Unleashed strategy, where he's going to try and maybe keep with Martin and Limitless. Well, I'm afraid if that's what he was going for, it doesn't appear to have...
Oh my... Sorry to break off there, Orbit Pride is having a big lag spike at the moment and is dropping down the field. He's completely disappeared from ahead of Leobot, and he is ended up somewhere. Oh, I know the feeling on the lag spike. I've had it before. It literally just freezes your game and just... it kicks you back into the race at some random point whenever the lag stops. As now we got actually a championship battle for third place. Martin and Limitless almost side by side through the bus stop there. Limitless just keeps his car just about ahead, but Martin's so close on the start finish right now, and Limitless using tiny bit of curse there right at the start of the lap to defend. So but I don't know if you can see where Orbit Pride has ended up.
It's a massive shame. He's actually in 6th place, just in front of Lockdown and Foxside, his debut teammate. Well, that is such a massive shame. I know I just said he was getting ever so slightly detached from Brosiek, but down into 6th place after such a good race, and he's now in such a large battle with Cryo Lockdown, or just Lockdown, as I've been told to refer to him, that they're probably going to lose quite a bit of time battling with each other, and Lockdown, in fact, has actually gone past the Sauber driver, and I think will stay in front as well.
Speaking of going past, here Martin using DRS to good advantage there, even though Limitless also had DRS, to be fair, to pass Limitless, and Martin trying to go for a quick move straight on Leobot as well, side by side now into what I believe is turn 8, the corner with No Name, and Martin gets the move done there.
Makes it stick. Fantastic work from Martin, up into 2nd place in front of Leobot, but Leobot just thinking about a move up the inside through Puon, but decides against it. It was mainly because Martin went so wide, but Suddenly the tables are turned. Limitless now finding himself behind Martin and with a car in between the two of them.
Yeah, there was the order was well, Martin was right at the back of this group at the start of the lap. Now he's ahead, but now obviously will be under pressure with DRS on the straight. But you never know. Martin might, with the better tires, pull out enough of a gap now at the end of this lap and the start of the next to not actually be under pressure. You can see he's already pulling a little, very tiny gap on Leobot, but these guys are having the slipstream now. Not really losing time on the straight. You can see them actually getting closer as Limitless goes for the move.
Up the inside. Oh, tiny bit of contact there, I think.
And Leobot just keeping his nose ahead in the exit. Tiny bit of wheel banging, and they're getting very close on the straight as well. This time,
just throw a tea cloth over the two of them, but Limitless just about makes it through up the inside. What? That was such close racing, has to be said. I think what he's trying to do is make sure that Martin doesn't get obviously too far away up the road.
But in that battling, though, they've actually lost some time to Martin, and I don't know if he'll have DRS here. We'll see.
Have to see what the flat opens. No, he does not. And crucially, obviously, Leobot behind him is going to have some, so Limitless has to go defensive here. And again, they're getting very, very close, but Limitless does just about hold on in front of the Toro Rosso.
Yeah, Limitless defending well there into the comp. And Martin has just gotten this as he wanted it, to be honest. He managed to get past Limitless and Leobot in quick succession. Use the time while Limitless were battling Leobot to try to get past himself to extend the gap and now get Limitless out of his DRS range. So Martin with the upper hand in the championship battle at the moment. As Limitless runs wide again, Leobot not close enough though to take advantage. And Martin, let's see what the gap is to the leader. You can see Brochik just about the next corner over there. I would estimate around 3 seconds, possibly.
3.5, something along the lines of. It's definitely doable. I mean, Martin's already stretched away quite substantially from Leobot behind.
And we have to remember that Martin, like the other guys that's qualified in the top 10 on the option tires, has still an option stint in the race to go, whereas the other guys will presumably have to go on the primes for the final stint. It is purely because they are a much more durable tire, even if they are not faster. So it'll be
Try again.
it'll be very interesting. I'll try again. Very interesting to see how long Martin stretches this prime stint. Like how many laps, good laps, does he think he can get out of the options at the end of the race?
It's interesting you say that the fact that he's got that option stint, and obviously the fact that he qualified in 5th place, I think.
Guys in the pit lane.
Yeah, Limitless is in. I think he's been followed in directed by Leobot as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Martin, obviously setting that time on the primes, not really a true representation of his actual speed around here.
As we got a battle for what is currently P3 in the race, probably something like 6th or something else. I think it's Orbit Pride and Lockdown actually. Obviously Orbit Pride landing right next to Lockdown after his lag spike, and he's been side pod glitched. That just looked very weird. So I think, to be honest, I don't think Lockdown did anything wrong there, because they were completely side by side into the corner. Lockdown was completely on the inside. He couldn't really have been more to the inside there, and I think Orbit Pride just turned into him, to be honest. So he brought that side pod glitch on himself, from what I could tell, and now he's dropped back in. Oh no, he wasn't Orbit Pride actually. I thought it was Orbit Pride, obviously, because you said he landed in, close to Lockdown after his lag spike, but it's actually the new guy, Foxside, who is one of the few wheel guys in this league. He, one of the 3 wheel drivers in this league currently, and he's landed right next to another wheel driver after his side pod spin, another Evo now, just ahead of him.
In that Williams. So obviously had the incident at the start of the race as well. That seems like such a long time ago with all the action that we've had so far in this race. But yeah, very explosive start to the race, and it's been that way since as well. Foxside is bearing down actually here on the Williams driver and down towards the bus stop. He's going to try and go around the outside, surely not. Good defending from Evo, and a big lockup though, and he actually dives into the pit lane.
Alright, and I saw on the minimap actually that Brochek from the lead also went into the pits, so I'm actually Foxside, he stays out, so he might come out close to Brochek actually, who is on the pit exit right now, as Foxside goes around turn 1. There is Brochek coming out of the pits, so nice clear air for Brochek. That's exactly what he would have wanted, coming out. pitting from P1, coming out in P2. So he just shows how fast he's been in this race so far to give himself that big of a gap. Or like to pit and still be in such a high position. But Tyrrell Martin on the alternate strategy, way out in the lead at the moment. It'll be interesting to see, firstly, how far down the order he comes out when he pits, and also you know, how many laps he gives himself to push on the option tires.
Yeah, well, there's about 7.5 laps to go in this race, so I assume we'll be pitting within the next few. But it'll be very interesting. Obviously, Brošek is going to get that undercut on him by a few laps, having just pitted. But he'll obviously he really needed that. He needed that clean space. He didn't need to be coming out in traffic or behind the Sauber of Fox. I can't even remember his name. This is terrible. Foxside. There we go. We discussed this before the race and everything. No, he needed to come out in front of Foxside. You know, he can't be carving his way through traffic if Martin is going to have the option tyres come the end of the race as well. And poor Foxside in the Sauber. He's got TRL Limitless behind him now as well, and Leo Bott. And I don't think it'll be too long until perhaps they overtake him on the much fresher rubber.
Yep, Team Limitless and Leo Bott, two very experienced drivers in this AOR F1 league, whereas Foxside is making his debut here today. At least he'll have the pleasure of running in the podium spots for a bit, but I expect he'll be pitting very soon. There we go, Foxside into the pits. So it remains to be seen where he'll come out. He'll probably be a bit further down the order than he was previously in the race, considering he had that side pod spin. And you can see from Limitless' view, as he comes round turn 1 now, that he can see Brošek up ahead, but you have to wonder whether it'll be too much of a gap to close, really. About 3 or 4 seconds between them. And Brošek's had great pace so far in the race. We know Limitless is a really fast guy, but can he manage to close that gap? If he does, it'll be a very top performance in this last part of the race for sure. I'm just going to scroll quickly further down
I'm actually having
just
a look
to see what the
if
state
there's any battles going on, but it seems like the order's actually fairly split up. Cryo Lockdown appears to have the DRS on one of the Caterhams in front of him, but he can't make a move. Yeah, everyone seems to be quite spread out at the moment. The initial explosion that was the first half of the race has just calmed down a little bit, but hopefully that is the calm before the storm. We see a big battle, especially between Brošek and TRL Martin come the end of this one.
Yeah, certainly Martin, after he goes into the pits, we'll have to keep an eye on the minimap to see when he goes in the pits, but after Martin's pitted, he'll definitely be the man to watch in this race. He could very well come out very close to Limitless as well. Obviously, he did pull out a little gap to Lim. Oh, as I'm just going to pause that, as that was less than 1 point, very wide of Pouon.
Through Pouon going really wide, and it's allowed Lockdown through as well, and up into 7th place.
Yes, indeed. So, good for him. I'm just going to continue scrolling down, so let's see who is in what position at the back. NLR even are running 9th, and the final points position currently inhabited by Foxside, who obviously just pitted. So he's at least on course for some points on his debut race. Seri Haryanto now in 11th place.
I tell you what, Limitless has just missed the chicane. He's just gone across the bus stop chicane.
Very interesting.
It's going to lose him some time. He's going to have marbles on his tyres, and I think he should be okay. As Leo Bott, again, another double brake lockup into that first corner. And Martin is coming out of the pit lane.
Yep. Martin just
come out of the pit lane.
Just out of the pits on his option tyres, just confirming that he was on the primes for the first 2 stints. Now he's going to be pushing on the option tyres while the rest of the field is on the primes, and he's come out right behind Leo Bott and will start his push with DRS on the Camel Straight. Although he'll be just too far back, actually, to make a move on this occasion. But he should have the better grip now in the corners to maybe make a move elsewhere on the track. You know, you expect most overtakes to be happening on the Camel Straight, possibly the start-finish straight and maybe the back straight as well. Yeah, well, but Martin now.
Brošek has been loving that Blanchimont move, so I don't see why Martin can't try it as well.
So, I guess we'll just have to stick and ball with Martin for a bit, because I expect we'll see him try at least a move on Leo Bott very soon. I think Leo Bott will have a hard time to defend from him on those prime tires, although they are kind of the preferred tires in a way around Spa, just because they are, you know, they're so durable and nice to drive, but still the option on pure pace, as long as they don't wear too much, they are definitely the faster tire. So let's see then. Martin saving some curse. I would have maybe expected him actually to use his curse. Yeah, but maybe he doesn't need it. Maybe he doesn't need it. He's still closing even without the curse. Getting very close to him through Blanchimon, is that
I
the name?
think it's
always
Blanchimon, yeah, I
forget.
think it's
Yeah. So let's see now if we can make a move then on the start-finish rate. He can see Limitless, his championship rival, not too far ahead. Limitless running second at the moment, but Martin first needs to get past Leobot, who has to be said has had a very good race. Martin getting a beautiful exit there. And Niran, do you think he'll be close enough?
It's debatable. No, not really. He's going to be all over the back of him. Probably by the time they're exiting Eau Rouge, to be honest. And yeah, coming over the top of the hill, Leobot is using a little bit of curves to help him, but I think it's beyond that point now, Leobot. I think, unfortunately for him, Martin's going to go right around the outside and down into chicane. It's job done.
It is job done. Unfortunate for Leobot, who has not been on the podium this season, he has to be said. Shown very good pace here at Spa, but once again, seem at the moment anyway, just about missing out on that podium position. He's had actually three fourth-place finishes earlier in the season, but no podium finish. It's been kind of
key, Fisi. Consistency.
Exactly, consistency is key. He's gotten him up to 5th place in the standings, and I assume he won't drop any further down after this solid performance. But now then, we turn our attention to the championship fight, TRL Martin versus TRL Limitless, and to be honest, Limitless, not even though he's ahead, he's got track position. That's what you want.
Yeah.
But you have to say Martin has the upper hand given the tyres.
This is going to be very difficult for JD, to be honest with you. He's in 2nd place and he's seeing his championship rival approaching him at a very quick speed, a rate of knots, as they go through Blanchimon, and obviously on the quicker tyres. New tyres as well, newer tyres, I do believe. Obviously Martin came in a lot later. I thought the dive bomb was on there for a second. I'm not going to lie to you down into the bus stop, but obviously, you know, Martin, he can afford to be a little bit cautious when it comes to this overtake because he knows it's going to happen at some point. It's a matter of time. With the DRS, I think did he get a little bit out of shape there when he opened it?
Maybe, possibly. He looked like he went to give Limitless a little look up the inside, just a little scare, and nearly lost the back end because he gave a pretty aggressive turn with DRS
almost
open.
giving him the commentator's curse, saying it's gonna happen, but using some curves as well out of Eau Rouge. He's going to have the DRS as well, going to go right around the outside like he did with the Leobot last time round. And again, it is job done. Limitless has no answer for it. And TRL Martin then is up into 2nd place. Do you think the race win is on here?
I think he might be, to be honest. He's got around 3-4 seconds. He needs to close on Brochek. But on the tyres that he has, I think he might well have a good chance there. He's got 3.5 laps to do it. And just on Limitless as well, I think this is pretty frustrating for Limitless in this situation. Just knowing that he doesn't really have a chance to respond to that overtake just purely because the tyre strategy. And he must kind of feel a little bit like Noble felt in Season 7 when Limitless was the man of the better tyres at the end. Exactly, and this time Limitless losing out at the end of the race with the strategy. Yeah, Martin then qualifying on those Pride tyres, only qualifying 5th as a result of it, but the gamble is really, potentially anyway, paid off there, especially if you can catch Brochek, because he's shown some incredible pace and he's kept himself out of trouble, made some good moves throughout the race as well. And you can see Brochek is getting closer indeed, and Limitless, to be fair to Limitless, he's not really lost too much time in this last sector of the lap. He's stayed quite close to Martin, but oh yeah, and still has DRS actually. So
I think
JD really pushing to try and keep up.
Yeah, I think he'll be disappointed with the way that Martin has just passed him, but probably one of the key points in the race was that double overtake that Martin made on, oh my lord, it's CSR Unleashed and Limitless himself on the same lap, and that's what really gave TRL Martin the big push, I think. And the track position, certainly, because then Limitless obviously lost a lot of time battling with the Red Bull afterwards. And that's probably why it's ended up being so easy in the end for Martin to catch Limitless and then pass him as well.
Yeah, and you can see how far behind Leobot has dropped, actually. So,
there's some sort of tyre issues or maybe a mistake that he made. I wasn't watching him, unfortunately.
Not really sure, but or maybe it's just not doing as good a job as Limitless of keeping up in Martin.
It's a possibility as well.
Because I think Leobot now actually closer to Unleashed behind him than he is to Limitless ahead. So maybe Unleashed could put in some impressive last couple of laps to make it a battle for 4th, although I think the gap might be a bit too big. Although I'm seeing, as I started skipping forwards again, I'm seeing a pretty close scrap for 7th.
Great
there.
minds think alike, Fisi. I'd just seen the cluster. I'm not saying I've got a great mind, by the way, but that big cluster on the minimap.
Yep. 3 cars close together. That is Foxside, NLR Evo, and Lockdown in the reverse order that I just said it. Oh no! Oh, and Foxside, it's a Sauber curse around Spa. Foxside now with the lag spike. That Orbit Pride, his teammate, suffered earlier in the race. And I haven't seen Orbit for ages. He must be outside the point span now, actually.
I just assumed he was in 5th, but obviously he's not. It's unleashed, isn't it? Haryanto's in 10th, so yeah. Oh, what a shame. Hang on. I'm just flicking through and I actually can't see him.
Oh, he's in 6th, actually.
Oh, okay, that's all right.
I just didn't take notice when I skipped past him before.
I got to 13th and I was like, there's no more drivers left. But no, he's in 6th place. Not too bad, but he'll still be disappointed having been battling for the lead earlier. Where would he now be in all of this battle if about to be overtaken by TRL Martin?
I think it'd probably be right in the middle of Martin and Brosiek right now, somewhere. And
because he was actually right with Brosiek, wasn't he, at the time?
He was indeed, yeah. I was right behind him, I think. So yeah, he could have made this battle for the win even more exciting, possibly. So it's a bit of a shame that those things happened, but that's part of online racing, you really have to say. Although I don't think that's the real connection issue; it's more a game issue when it lag spikes like that. Yeah, well, you can see the gap to Brosiek. I don't really think it's closing fast enough to be honest.
It's not really coming down at all. I feel as if it's pretty much the same as it was a moment ago. Brosiek's just missed that apex slightly, but I don't think that'll harm him too much. But we're going on to the final lap in 20 seconds. So I don't think Martin's going to do this.
I don't think he is. It looked very bright for him earlier, but it's not been able to close that gap on the option tires. Maybe this is the point, obviously, when the options are just starting to lose a bit of performance, lose a bit of grip, and Brosiek on those more durable primes haven't really felt that drop off yet. So the balance of the tires as they go along are kind of balancing out a bit. So yeah, Brosiek still with Martin well out of DRS range, coming onto the final lap. So I think, unless he makes a mistake now, I think actually Brosiek has got this now.
Yeah, it would look that way, and certainly the tyres must have gone off because Martin, you could see, he was visibly catching Brosiek, even though he was quite a distance behind. And I wouldn't say really the gap between TRL Martin and TRL Limitless has really extended that much over the last lap. So, yeah, those tyres have dropped off. Big shame, because it was looking as if we were going to get a final climax finale of dreams, and it hasn't unfortunately happened, unless Brosiek strategically makes a mistake here. But
strategically to help the viewers.
Yeah, you've got to help the entertainment.
Come on, Brosiek, help us out.
Come on, Brosiek. But no, good drive, and it looks as if he's got this one in the bag at risk of commentator's curse.
If anything, I think Brosiek's extended the gap ever so slightly on this lap so far. Martin not having the best lecom there, and you can see Limitless behind is closer to Martin than Martin is to Brosiek. So this is probably just how it is. Have to obviously keep an eye on Brosiek for making a mistake, but I think he's just trying to take it easy. He knows he's got the gap as Martin. Just completely mess up his line through poo on there as well.
Martin's clearly pushing very hard, not giving up despite the massive gap, but if you're Brosiek, you might as well just take it nice and slowly. Conserve fuel, do whatever it takes, because the gap is, with only 3 or 4 corners to go, surely is unassailable.
Yep, and I think on this lap, Martin looked a bit scrappy, so I think it's, if anything, he just pushed a bit too hard, and then eventually realised that the win is off for him today. But at least he will extend his gap to Limitless in the standings by 3 points, which, you know, is good. He already had a quite solid championship gap, obviously, after the last time, and will extend that ever so slightly. But it is Brosiek that comes down to take the win at the Belgian Grand Prix. Martin second, Limitless third, and as the game has just given me a lockdown to spectate through the final corner, he's going to finish 8th, just behind NLR Evo, and I think Orbit Pride, he managed to come out in 6th after his lag spike issue.
Not a bad recovery.
And it's close together, possibly. No, as the game just didn't want to skip us to the guys that finished right at the bottom of the points positions. But instead, we'll watch Jason in last place.
I've been locked to Jason since the race ended, unfortunately. Well, I say unfortunately, it's been quite nice, actually.
Spectator cam isn't very kind to you after the race has ended.
I've learned that. There's multiple things I've learned, and this is one of them. But a good win for Brosiek.
Yeah, fantastic race for him, and is that his first win this season? It is indeed. Oh,
There's a penalty.
Stop. I need to do...
Whoa.
Martin's got a penalty, 20 seconds!
A penalty? When did that happen? He's 8th.
I have absolutely no idea. But Limitless then in 2nd and Liebert 3rd, unless Martin get those penalties improved.
Final lap. That's why he was pushing on the final lap. Perhaps he knew he had that 20-second penalty, and then obviously the time gap over the rest of the field mattered. But wow,
absolutely.
That's promoted Limitless up into 2nd, and obviously if the penalties don't get removed, Leobot will take a maiden podium this season.
Yeah, good point.
Wow.
And, well, I will need to have to ask Martin about what happened there. Because, yeah, I have no idea. Obviously, the game doesn't tell you what the penalty is or what, like, when they happen, as far as I know.
Honestly, I can't think what that would be for.
Yeah, well, could have been something that we didn't really see. Maybe when Martin was down in the midfield, you can see he's left the lobby straight away, so clearly not happy with something. There is a chance that he could... obviously get the penalties removed if he does record his races, so he could apply for them to get removed if they were clearly unfair and something wrong with the game, but I have no idea. Either way, so Martin basically either finishes P2 if the penalties weren't correct, but if they were, he finishes all the way down in P8.
That's big, and of course it promotes Limitless up into 2nd place. If that doesn't get removed, that's a big points difference. There was someone else who got a 10-second penalty, but I'm not gonna lie to you. As soon as I saw TRL Martin had got that penalty, I sort of focused on that instead. But someone else in the field did get a 10-second penalty. I think it may have been Foxside. I'm not entirely sure. It was around that area of the point scorers or the finishers. But wow, big explosive way then to end the race.
Yeah, the action at the end happened after they had crossed the line rather than actually on the track before.
First 2/3 of the race, it was all going on the track, and then towards the end, all of it going on off the track.
Exactly. So yeah, I guess we'll just have to keep an eye on what happens with those penalties with Martin, and obviously for the next stream next week, we'll let you know what happened there. But before I go, you guys in the chats or the comments or whatever you want to call it, I want you to let me know who was your driver of the day here in this race. Obviously, the results disappeared pretty quickly. So, hard to remember maybe where everyone was, but you got the main view of what happened in the race anyway. Brocek winning, Limitless possibly 2nd, maybe 3rd. We don't really know yet. Depends on Martin's penalties. And Leobot with a very solid performance as well. The debutants looking very good in qualifying, but dropped down a bit in the race. And yeah, just a lot of stuff happening. We probably missed a lot of action, but at least we did also see a lot of action. So I think Niran, it was overall a very exciting race. That
was absolutely fantastic. I did calm down a little bit towards the last sort of 6 or 7 laps of the race, but wow, that was really. I rated that very highly. That was a very good race. Helped, I think, by the mixed-up qualifying. It has to be said. TRL Martin and Limitless starting so far down the order, or certainly in the midfield. And then driving through the order and making so many overtakes really spiced things up, certainly in the first half of the race.
And a few shouts. Shout for Limitless for driver of the day. Brocek, of course, getting a shout. Martin as well. Brocek, another shout from Tirano Sigge there, the man who knows his stuff when it comes to this league.
Yeah.
That's a funny comment that I'm not going to read because I don't feel like that's a good idea.
The worst part is I know exactly what comment that is.
Yep.
Just going to gloss over that. I've got to keep it politically correct.
Shout for Brocek and Orbit Pride. Obviously, Orbit Pride very unlucky with his lag spite. He also had a very solid performance until that happened. And let's see Leobot getting a shout as well. So yeah. Also, Tigger gave an honourable mention to Martin's quali lap, which it has to be said was very impressive. We didn't catch on to it at the time, but he was obviously set on the prime tyres. And maybe the biggest surprise of the race, Niran, was the fact that given the Xbox issues you had before we started the stream, that you actually managed to stay in the game for the whole race.
I'm still here. I'm still in the lobby. It's actually quite incredible. Having disconnected 3 times in 10 minutes beforehand, I'm pretty ecstatic with getting through the whole hour and 10 of this stream. Lots of nice comments in the chat as well, so thank you guys very much for that. It's been very fun commentating on what was such a good race, and actually being able to stay in the lobby the whole time, which was even more of a miracle.
That is a good. I would say it was a very good experience to have you in the commentary box, and maybe sometime in the future. Obviously, we do hope that X-Matter will be back for the next race, as he hopefully should, if he sorts his throat out.
Yes.
But
too much
yeah,
shouting,
certainly.
too much partying. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Certainly, it was a lot of fun, and if we need a stand-in again, I know who I'll be asking first.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much for having me, and that was just a very, very good race indeed. Still lots of shouts going on as well for Driver of the Day, and Brosiek, it seems to be, is the one that's still getting them.
Yeah, and that's no surprise at all. Very impressive win for Brosiek then,
I think...
first of the season. And do you have any final words before we end this?
Well, I think Brosiek wants to race again, by the looks of things. He's ready yet again. I mean, I don't mind commentating, but there's only 2 people who'd actually be driving.
Yeah.
So, but
he's readied up in low.
He's always ready. But yeah, very, very, very cool race, and an awesome experience being able to commentate on AOR. I only just managed to get the stream up as well and look at the comments because I didn't, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't want to strain things internet-wise based on things beforehand. But yes, indeed, very cool race and very cool experience.
Yeah. So to wrap this up, then, thank you everyone who has been watching this stream. I really hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. It was certainly one of the better races this season to commentate on and watch. That's for sure. A lot of good battling and just exciting moments, and yeah, thank you very much, Niran, for commentating with me as well. It was great, and obviously next week we'll be back again with another race. So we'll see you all there. Goodbye.
Thanks for watching. See ya.